everyone. Thanks for joining us for our first ever GigEast virtual meetup. Very excited about the panel discussion that we're going to have today with the guests that we have invited. Again, thanks for joining us in this afternoon. If you're not familiar with GigEast, GigEast is really an initiative that started in Wilson, North Carolina a couple of years ago. That's where I'm at. Actually, my role here is manager of the GigEast Exchange, a co-working space that will be opening up very soon here in Wilson. And part of the initiative around GigEast was to have a summit every year, but also to have these meetups to really drive the conversation around innovation, around entrepreneurship, and really help us build the ecosystem that we're seeing thrive here in Wilson. As part of the meetup today, we really wanted to focus on what people are doing to be innovative during probably one of the largest crises we've seen in a generation. And the folks that I have on with me today, we have Tom Snyder with Riot, we have Shelley Leslie with WRL, as well as Josh Dotson with Cisco. And just to kick it off here, if you guys want to go around, talk a little bit more about your role, each of your organizations. And one last tidbit today, again, this is the first time us doing this, is we want to have a Q&A at the end of this, the last 15 or 20 minutes, so to give you a chance to ask questions to our panel. And we are recording this so that for the folks that couldn't make it today, we can definitely get that out to you, make it available to you on our website, which is gigeast.com. And we're also going to try to start a conversation on our Twitter account, which is @GigEast, during and after our meetup as well. But first of all, let's just go around the table. And Shelley, if you want to tell us a bit more about your role at
Sure. Thanks for having me. First of all, I'm really interested in the conversation and learning from the other people on the panel. I've been with Capital Broadcasting Company, which is the parent company of WRL TV. I'm in my 32nd year. I have to do the math. Worked on most of that career on the WRL TV side of the house. Moved a few years ago into a new role, running really what we consider to be a startup inside of the larger company. So it's an audience development unit. So I have a small team, and we are working on content development, partnership development, revenue development in emerging media. So that can be anything. We're currently working on a podcast network. We have 24 shows in our podcast network. We work on streaming, developing new content for our streaming channels on Roku and Apple TV and Fire TV, etc. And then just really looking for unique partnerships that we can develop that will actually serve new audience that we may not already serve. Okay,
awesome. Tom?
Thanks, Darren. I'm Tom Snyder. I lead Riot. We're a local, to the Raleigh area at least, a nonprofit organization. We've been around for about 6 years now, and our focus is economic development. We believe that all jobs are created where technology is going, and so we're a very technology-forward organization. We do a lot of convening. We ran over 80 events and workshops around the United States last year. We also operate an accelerator program working with both early-stage startups and corporate innovation teams. We've run that for a number of years out of Raleigh, and we're pleased that this year we kicked off an accelerator in Wilson, North Carolina that started in person out there, and we're running that virtually right now. But it's been a great partnership in working with the city of Wilson, which has been a very technology-forward organization, and looking at how this is going to create jobs and new companies in that community. And so we're happy to be a part of it, and thanks for having me on.
No, absolutely. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. And Josh?
Hi, my name is Joshua Dotson. First of all, Darren, thank you for having us and the partnership with Cisco. So for Cisco, I've been in my current role, which is, IoT, right? And as we think about that within Cisco, that's, really connecting the devices to the network as we're expanding into different types of sensor technologies. How do we connect those to an enterprise network? How do we do so in a secure manner? And what kind of business solutions, what kind of problems can we solve? And so that's why this COVID time of our lives that we're kind of living through has been really interesting, because Cisco's been involved in a number of different types of whether it's video technology or, building the backbone of the internet that we're using today, but how we adapt in the times that we are and use some of those tools to, try to mitigate downtime within customers. How are we helping education customers connect with students and so forth. So we'll talk a little bit about that and what we're seeing in the market.
It's really, really exciting because, I think we all wake up and we see the numbers on TV and we see what's going on, and it can get a little negative. And when you start hearing the stories, and I'm sure the stories we're going to hear from the three of you today, it really starts making you realize, man, when it's crunch time and when you're in the middle of a crisis, it's amazing. They say, what is it? Necessity is the mother of invention. I would say it's the mother of being innovative as well. And you really start to see that come out.